And we are live. What is going on, Agent? But welcome back to Beyond the 90. Leicester 5. Right, oh, sorry. Watford 1, Leicester 5. I mean, who predicted that coming into this game? And with us, and what are your thoughts straight after the game?
It's like we were saying before the game, before we just went live. Like, you're expected to beat Watford, but it feels great to batter them like that. Like, yes, there's bones to pick with that first 15, 20 minutes where we were awful and made Watford look very good. But beyond that point, I'd say, again, I don't want to get carried away. It is Watford and they are shocking. But I'd say that's the best football we've played for a long time.
Yeah, I agree. And also, it did help with Watford being that bad that it allowed us to play the football that we want. But I was saying to Chris at half time, I was like, if they play like this in the Championship, they're not going to come up. They're gonna be bottom half of the table because you can't play like that and be in the Championship because we've been there, we've done that, we've seen you're not good enough. Anyway, I think we'll start from the beginning. I think one thing we got to start on, we looked at the team lineup and everybody went, oh, there's one player there that's really sick. Danny Ward, for the first time in the Premier League, I think since he came into the... I think the first time since he's come into the club in 2018 that he's actually started a game. 4 years, and he starts a Premier League game.
I'm just going to put this out there. Is it a coincidence there's been all these links with Casper to Newcastle, and then all of a sudden he's dropped? Just saying.
It looks suspicious. And Brendan Rodgers has said, even coming into this game, he needs his best players to turn up and best players to play. So in this game, it was surprising. Let's just say that. And I think everybody went, huh? Nobody expected him to play. But I don't know how much of the match you caught and how much he played. But overall, I think he had a pretty decent game. I mean, coming in from the positions of Ants, I don't know. Okay, he's coming. From where Ward was playing, his positional percent was good. His shot stopping ability was good. It's still not as good as Schmeichel's, but especially from corners positions, the fact that he comes out, grabs the ball. Yes, we were still terrible from corners and stuff. Not terrible. We were okay.
We were awful. We were awful. Every header they won from corners. Every header. Like, it was. I'm sorry, I'm not hearing that we weren't awful. We were horrendous, and it's.
I was thinking specifically in the case of Ward.
Did he do anything that Schmeichel didn't though? Because I didn't see him particularly commanding that box like a Nick Pope would. So, like, I don't think he had a bad game.
I don't think he come out and grab the ball a few times, and it was like, oh, we've not seen that. We've genuinely not seen that.
But yeah, it's one of those. It's like he deserves his chance, and I just think it's strange that Schmeichel was about to get his 150th appearance in a row to then be dropped. I feel like there's more to it. I really do.
It is. Do you know what? We might go over this in another podcast or in the summer, because I think that's one of the times we've got a lot more to talk about. We've got plenty of time to talk about that as well. But Ward, I think, did okay. And then going forward, I mean, it's basically Watford's second team. However, first corner, and I wrote down the 5th minute. First corner to Watford, and I was like, please don't concede. And then we just concede. Not good enough from corners. I don't want to hype on it too much because A, we've covered it 400 million times this season. 2, it's not. It was just bad marking. And a third point, it's just get the ball out. It's not, or just do a Robert Huth, hit it straight in the air or straight up, give time to reset and then go again.
The stupid thing is, we could have very easily been 2-0 down within 10 minutes because they hit the crossbar as well from the next corner.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't want to dwell on the negatives because we've won 5-1, but something's got to be done. Like, whether a defensive specialist's brought in the summer, like Arsenal have, to sort out their set pieces, because they were like us last year. Actually, well, not this bad, but do you know what I mean? It was a weak point for them. They brought in someone who's a specialist in that, and now they've conceded something like the second least in the league. Like, something's got to be done about it. But I'm going to have to quickly run and get my charger because I realised my laptop's on 3% before we went live.
No worries. I'll drop you out, I will bring Ant back in a bit. Hopefully he doesn't come off. But yeah, get your thoughts in below. Ethan's put in late equalizer. Yes, they are safe. They are 1 point above at the moment. Wolves not beating Norwich. 8th position is still on. We'll have to see. Again, we were in 14th. It shows you how tight that middle pack is at the moment, where anybody from, I think Wolves have been now pulled into it. Sorry, there's quite a few tabs of BBC Sport I've got open because I'm trying to look at the goals. Jamie Vardy, his goal, but we'll get into all of that later on as well. Rene's here. Big up, Rene. Hopefully you're doing well. Big up, Nippon as well. Hopefully you're doing okay as well. We are absolutely terrible from corners, and that is fact. And give me a thumbs up if you got your charger in, and I can bring you back in. Cool. No, actually, we need to do the other one. I was going to remove you then. I was going to ban you from the chat. Wrong one. But yes.
Is the camera focused for you, by the way? It's looking really blurry.
It's fuzzy. It's fuzzy, but as long as the visual's good, that's fine. So again, we've put the position behind in terms of the look. We've touched on the corners. There isn't really much more we can say that hasn't been said already. Move on. But what was good, it was the response from that. We've seen before where we go one down, everybody's heads dropped, or we can't win the game. We went on and we continued to press. And actually, I think the response from that first goal was really good, even before the first goal.
The thing is, Watford started very well. And what I'll say about it is even after the goal, Watford had two chances. Obviously, the other header that came off the crossbar. And then Danny Ward was forced to make a save down to his left-hand side, which he got down to really well. But what really gave us a lifeline into the game, and this just sums up Watford's season, was their two centre-backs running into each other, leaving basically an open goal for Madison from Tielemans squaring it. So it's one of those, Watford can't expect anything from games if you're having your two centre-backs running into each other.
Yeah, no, definitely true there as well. And I think as well, I put Everton vibes. Everton 1-1 anybody, and that's kind of what it reminds. 1-0. I think we went ahead first. Anyway, to put us 1-0 up, I think. Everton, the same thing, two players running into each other. And a few of them goals that they conceded were avoidable from their perspective. But do you know what? It's been so long since, I think it's all season, we've not put 5. The only time we put 4, I think I put down here, this season, 13 goals have been conceded by to Watford. I mean, they're pretty much charity FC to us at the moment.
They are awful, but it's not just to us. They are just a shocking football team. I genuinely worry for them in the Championship as well, because sometimes you can pump a team like 5-0, but you can see that they're doing the basics well, and you've just got that quality above them. But today they were just their defenders ran into each other. Ben Foster came out for the ball and completely missed it for Vardy's goal.
Midfield wasn't there.
And it's going to sound like a stupid question. Do you reckon that their board is going to give their new man that they've got from Forest Green time to fix it, or do you reckon he'll be gone in I reckon he'll be gone by the midway point of next season. And
they go through 3 managers a year. They go through more managers than I can't think of a good analogy at this time. They go through more analogies than people have terms in school. Let's just say that. Because they just, so I don't know what they're going to plan is, but we'll as Brown Boy says, 6 months max. Yeah, that's pretty much the expiry date of a manager at Watford, isn't it? It's
hashtag would beat Watford.
Do you know? I think so. Yeah. So yeah, I think coming out of that, they are terrible. But credit to us for going and playing that football, because at times we've sat back from teams. Teams were there for the taking, and we've not taken it. I mean, the first goals you were saying, 2 players run into each other. One thing I want to mention as well, the long ball over from Evans was it's something we've seen a little bit of, but we can really jump and come up to that space, because I think we could potentially, that was nice, but then a nice little tap in for Madison, who again, his goals and assists this season has been incredible. But do you know what? For the next couple of goals, they did make mistakes, but we need to go and put the goal in the back of the net. And too many times this season, we haven't.
The thing is, it's like we say, they are making mistakes. Some of those, I think that was from our pressure, those mistakes came. And also, you can only beat what's in front of you. And I know there's certain people getting carried away saying that we've won our last 2 games 3-0 and 5-1. Yes, it's Norwich and Watford who are already relegated. But there's been too many times in the last few years where the teams have already been relegated and we still haven't beaten them.
Exactly. Especially, as you were saying, teams are down there. We've ended up scraping a draw. I remember the Burnley game in particular, at home, that we just got away with a draw. We could have lost that game quite badly, at least 3. But it's good to see that, yeah, we're doing that. I mean, the second goal we're coming into, of course, Kiembe gets the ball away, picks his pocket. Vardy with a brave header, but we have to speak on Jamie Vardy. I mean, people were saying, not myself, but other people in the fan base, saying, "Oh, as he finished, he passed it." Now we're seeing him. Up to that point, on that first half, and even the second half until he came off, we genuinely didn't create that many chances for him. However, the chances he got, he put in the back of the net. That's a sign of a brilliant striker.
The thing is, his chances weren't like his first goal wasn't really much of a chance. He just himself putting his head in where it was. It the first goal was the ball over the top, or was that the second one?
The ball over the top so when the two people run into each other, that was for the first goal.
That was
Madison,
the
Vardy goal was the second goal.
Is that that ball? Vardy's goal. That wasn't really much of a chance either. He made that for himself by working hard off the ball, and I don't know what Ben Foster was trying to do, but like,
that's a Will
again,
Smith
that's
movie,
Vardy, like complete ultimate poacher, isn't he?
Yeah, really is, and he just keeps going. And again, he got a goal in the second half. We'll come on to in a little bit, but I was going to say one player, especially throughout that match, he got the time and the space, and he's been probably our most consistent player this season, considering he was pretty inconsistent for the first couple of months. James Madison, this game was at times absolute unplayable. I mean, they were there for the taking, but Madison was controlling the ball. I think a lot of the time I've seen him move into that number 8 position. I know he's not, and he's only briefly going to the other back, playing the ball around. But some of the balls he was putting in, some of the opportunities he was creating, but the balls he was putting in were just on a plate. And I know we won 5-1, but his balls in, we could have won more if a lot of the quality of balls was just finished off.
The thing is, as well, he's like, when you look on the team sheet and stuff, it looked like he was going to play right wing, but he came in field so much in between the 8 and 10 in the middle part of the pitch, and they just couldn't handle him. And he's one of those players as well. Like, I'm not a fan of him on the right, but there are times where it's effective, and he must be so hard to track as he sort of goes across the pitch and finds those pockets of space. And he's the one player that I think for this rebuild, build around Madison, build around Dewsbury Hall, build around Fofana, build around that core.
Yeah, that's that spine that we need to make sure that we've got as well. And then again, depending on how Vardy and Daka is, you could see when Daka came on for that last shot. Again, we'll get onto that a little bit later. But there is a player there, and there is two players that can play together or play in replacement with each other, and there's not a downgrade like there was as much before. So yeah, as people are looking at how he'd be for England, you know Mason Mount's favourite. He's going to take that position. We will have to see again when it comes to the December what happens, because again, World Cup's in December. We'll have to see. We'll have to see about all that nonsense. That's another conversation probably for the summer as well, when the World Cup should be played. Anyway, but I was going to say in the first half, Barnes was having a bit of a stinker, but in the second half he turned it on, and he could have had more. I think he genuinely could have had a hat trick today. I think that, again, we'll mention before, but it's good to see him back on the score sheet. It's not been his season where he's really kicked on to that next level. We're hoping it's next season, but it's good to see him getting 2 more goals, and that can only be a good thing.
It can, and to finish the season strong for him, that'll be a boost of confidence as well. Because as you say, he hasn't had the best of seasons, particularly compared to where he was before last year. So to finish the season strong and then hopefully head into pre-season full of confidence, that's got to be a good thing.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And the way in which we did it as well, we were kind of getting the ball forward. We were, he was getting up to good position on the left. He wasn't. I think this season, especially now, he's not been taking on as many players as we know he can. But he was more coming on that left-hand side, providing goals and assists. I think it's a different role to what we saw last year, ever so slightly, but he's not taking on a man, beating him, then crossing the ball in.
The thing is, when he's playing with confidence, so he is, I think he's taken on a different role because he's been lacking confidence. When he's confident, he's been running up players, and we saw that against PSV because he played full of confidence that game because he had a good start to the game. But he's one of those that I think quite often, if something doesn't go well in the game for him, he can quite often drop his head.
Mm-hmm.
But when stuff's going well for him, he plays full of confidence.
Yeah, no, he really, really does. And that's the thing. I mean, coming in just before half time, I've got as well, Castagna was getting in some really good positions. I mean, he was lucky not to get a goal or a couple of goals or assists again in this game. We talk about literally it could have been 10. But Castagna could have done better. I think on another day he does do better, but he's getting in those goal opportunities. And as you were saying, we didn't have in that first half that right outside right winger, which again Brendan changed the second half, but coming on that right hand side or moving into that central position, which I think if he tries and does a lot more, he could play that role kind of like Marcus Alonso does for Chelsea.
Who's that? Sorry. So what?
Castagna for the first half.
I don't know because Chelsea play their 5 at the back, which means he's basically which means he's a wing back instead of a full back, which Castagna is for us. So if we go to the 5 at the back, then then that's for sure. But I don't know. He's one of those he never however badly he performs, he never puts in a lower than a 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
He's
exactly
always consistent.
Yeah. 1 second. I glowing a bit too much. Looks like an angel. Don't know where to take that information, but sure.
My camera should be better now. I think there was some dirt on it, and I think I've rubbed it off, but which is why it was a bit. Anyway,
fair enough.
Carry on.
No worries. we shall move into the second half because I thought, okay, we played well the second half. We tend to come out a little bit better second half, but that's not saying much. A lot of the, like, for example, the 0-0, we were looking and then we came out 1-3-0 at the end against the previous game. Coming into this game, I was thinking it is 2-1. We do need that extra couple of 1 goal to just settle the game and settle the nerves a little bit. And we got it after 23 seconds. And it shows that they were switched on. And this is something that we've criticised Leicester from in the past. We were too slow into games. We went full charge at them, straight onto Albrighton, who's just been subbed on for Mendy. And we get the goal. I mean, 3-0 up. I'm happy after that. For 3-1 is great.
Can we just have a word about that ball from Albrighton? I know I've criticised him a lot and said I don't think he's the starter for us, and I don't. I think that this probably game was about his level today, if I'm being completely honest. But that ball from Albrighton was absolutely class for the Barnes goal.
Yeah. And he put in a couple, it wasn't just that one. He put in a couple more goals, I think, as well. And a couple more opportunities and balls as well that were quite tantalising as well. We just needed a Patson Daka. I know you made a video on Charles Catelaire. He could be another one that we could really utilise with that as well.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting summer saying about Charles Catelaire and sort of how this squad's moulded with this rebuild. I don't know how much I trust that it's going to be a rebuild or not, but again, we'll keep all of this discussion for the summer and stuff.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely do, and there'll be a lot more on that, and we'll try and do a Catelaire video. You can watch Ants already on his channel, link in the description as well. Yeah, just missed a header from the cross. I mean, I think that was from the Madison ball in, I think, David, you were talking about, but as the ball came in, it just needed a little bit more header on the ball. And I don't think that Barnes has got a hat-trick since he's played for Leicester City. But I don't think so. But that could have been a great opportunity for him and Vardy to get 2 hat-tricks. But then we're talking about towards the 9-0. And it could have been, genuinely, it could have been towards the 9-0 with the opportunities we created as well. Then coming on to, what's it called? Got a third goal, really well played, really worked for that in. And I just thought Watford are being carved open like a hot knife through butter. They were not, they were there for the taking. And every opportunity, we were winning back balls in great positions and just taking them fantastically. I mean, there were so many opportunities we were nearly got the ball. And then I think one thing I've realized as well with Evans substituted for Amate coming on, obviously it didn't change the game too much, but something we've got to be aware of that we know about. Evans has played 3 games in a row and he's starting to like, there's something. I remember him at half time, hands on his knees, looking down. I think in this game, it showed you, okay, Evans can't, even though we only got the Premier League next season, obviously with the cup competitions, not Europe, we need a new centre back. Evans is not, he can't last, he can't do this many games in this short amount of time.
even with Evans being fully fit next season, I think we need another centre back. So the fact that he is what he is, he's a brilliant centre back when he's fit, but and when available. But we're not going to be able to rely on him every week. So I do think that's why we're starting to see links to centre backs more and more. Because I think I'll be amazed if we don't sign at least one centre back this summer. I wouldn't be surprised if we sign two.
Yeah, and I think there's, as much as I enjoy having Joaquin on and talk about the under-23s, I think the level we're trying to get to and the level of the under-23s, as we saw from somebody like a Luke Thomas, just needs that loan to go, improve, then come back into the squad. I think that links up perfectly. But yeah, I agree with you there. One thing I was going to mention as well, Chester, you beat me to it. We are on 0 goal difference now. I mean, we were on minus... We were on minus something, but I think we're on 0. So it's a little thing. But I think, wait, Arsenal are on 1. No, is that right?
Yeah,
no,
Arsenal,
Manchester United are on 1.
On Arsenal as well, because they got pumped in quite a few games this year, haven't they?
No, they're on 11. Again, I'll bring up this just to show people the table as well. Leicester on 0. Manchester United are on 1. So they again, Man United's been pumped this many times. So 57 scored, 57 conceded. Oof, that's not good. But again, we're starting to turn around. We've got 2 wins. Again, this is not taken into consideration, but we're kind of securing that gives us that lead over Brighton for that spot. Do we catch Wolves though? That's the question. We're gonna have a look at them and see.
Imagine the banter that's going Scott's way if we catch Wolves after he was calling them a Champions League ready squad.
Yeah, let me just have a look at their. Oh, their last win against Liverpool as well. Rest in peace, mate.
Yeah, but we've still got to play Chelsea. Let's not get too far.
Yeah. I mean, it's tight, but it's good that we're looking. I mean, we were the ones. I had to take the stream off, the day off from doing the Leicester City, from doing the Everton game this time last week, because I was like, just rubbish, just terrible. But it's funny how football changes, yes. But from that position, we were genuinely looking down and we can't get further up. Couple of wins now and we're up the table. So it's good that we're looking up rather than down, because I think the majority of people will now be looking at the Premier League going, I don't know how to get the screen sharing back, to win the game. Because a top 10 finish after the horrible season we've had would just taste a little bit better and just feels a little bit better as well.
It would, and I don't think there's a huge amount of difference apart from it's only financially that it makes a difference when like the season has been so bad and like you look at the number of losses and the points and stuff. I just think it's because other teams have been equally as poor as us. But at the same time, top half finish, go again next year sort of thing.
That's it. That's all we've got to do for this one. And then obviously for the first one, then for the fourth goal, Jamie Vardy, just typical Jamie Vardy. Harvey Barnes winning the ball back. Finished it off really, really nicely for the third goal as well. So the fourth goal, what is it called? I can't remember. Cage on the left. 60. No, the fourth goal, I think was. Never mind. No, Jamie Vardy for the 70th. Getting my head mixed up a little bit. But do you know what? There's so many opportunities that I didn't. That I forgot to put the scores in. But yes, Ethan, I'll get to your point in a second in terms of Daka and nearly scoring at the end. But from this is something we have to work on again, not to take too much away, but from set pieces, we've got to be winning the first ball. Our centre backs have to be winning them because it's something that's really lacking. It does help with Daka there, sorry, with Ward there, but we need somebody else to really drive it home about the football that we play and with winning balls from it was for Fafana, but I think we need somebody else as well, as you were saying.
I don't even know if it's for personnel though. I think it's more of a system because like Johnny Evans is a good you wouldn't expect Johnny Evans to lose every header of the ball. And in fact, I think it's this. We're doing like this hybrid of zonal marking and man marking. It's just like it's not working. It's not working. So I think I'm more convinced it's the system than the personnel. If I'm completely honest.
Yeah. No, definitely agree there. And then as well, again, we just do the backed off, and then Barnes with a beautiful goal for the fifth goal as well. Really, really good shot. But one thing I want to mention as well, the ball was won back by Patson Daka into Madison. Yeah,
I
you've
got
got
that
as well.
written down as well as mine. But Patson Daka worked so hard there to win that ball back.
Yeah.
The thing is, yes, he's probably not given. I think he's had a good first season, but I know he's split opinion. But when you've got a player that's working that hard, and you can see sort of like the work ethic from him, and you've got to imagine that'll be carried onto the training ground. They've always got the opportunity to improve.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. And I think hopefully in the future that you've got that opportunity and you've got that scope to improve. And now with the summer coming to the close, I know we're not quite there yet, we can have that summer to really go again, and that should be great to see as well. And I don't think you heard because as well with the Barnes goal, there was the amount of, for some reason the Leicester fans were great throughout the game, telling fans to tell the players to give them a wave, and then they were singing all the old school chants of like, well, I wouldn't say old school, but Ulloa, Andy King, Ibora, Cambiasso, Ranieri. That was really nice to hear as well. So I think, sorry, you were saying?
I was going to say, it was so empty though. Like Vicarage Road was pretty much empty, wasn't it? Like not even because they were shit. Like right from kickoff.
Yeah, it was from kickoff. I watched and I went, yeah, there's nobody in that ground. There was a third capacity. Some stands were a third capacity, and it's not. Have you been to Watford, right?
Yeah, I've been 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, it's not a big
ground
stadium. Yeah, it's not like a massive stadium that they use for Phil. So we'll have to see. And the last one as well, something that Ethan mentioned to bring it back as well. I can't find it, Ethan. I'm sorry. Oh no, Daka really. I know you missed it, but Daka came very, very close to scoring at the end as well. It was a great shot, but an even better stop from Foster to save him, and that would have just been on the icing on the cake. The fact that we've got Jamie Vardy scoring, and that's where Patson Daka used his role and just come in, he plays slightly different to Vardy, but in a very similar way. And then getting his last goal, I think, would have done him the world of good in this game as well.
I'm just going to have to agree with you because I didn't get to this part of the game because
I know you didn't. That's why I asked him about in terms of Patson Daka building for the future, because I think next season we're going to see the upgrade a lot more. A goal now, because I think he's on 11 goals. Give him that 12th. I know we're kind of picking over stuff because we've still got Jamie Vardy in good form at the moment. It's just what we need to really get in that good run of form.
Yeah, and again, another goal is never going to do him badly, is it? So it's one of those as well, I think, for us that I think next year we'll probably see a lot more of Daka than we have this year. And the more he plays, the more he'll improve.
Yeah. And all he needs to do over the summer is go with Jamie Vardy, talk to him what you're doing, show him these football clips, and show Jamie Vardy's best bits, and just how do you do this? Cool. Then go on the training ground and work that again. I'm not a professional footballer. I'm not a professional coach. You've got somebody there that's one of the best in the business at doing what he does. Use it to your advantage. So Daka is going to have a great season. Leicester City truly dominant throughout. And yeah, I think that's everything else I've pretty much got on the field. Tielemans was doing okay. I'm surprised that Mendy was substituted at halftime, or Bryson did well. But it's quite hard not to do well against this team, to be honest. They were not good.
They were shocking. Point to finish it on, maybe? Are they the worst team we've played this season?
Yes.
Yeah. Either them or Norwich, maybe? Or actually, no.
No, Norwich were better. Over the 2 games we played them, Norwich were better.
Norwich should have beaten us at Carrow Road for saying that.
We played with 8 players, 8 first-team players, and still beat them 4-2. 4-1. 4-2? 4-1.
Yeah, that's true. They are actually awful.
So, yeah, Ranieri giving us the final goodbye, and I think that's a good note to end on. We're going to do a video on Ant's channel, so make sure to head over to his channel as well. We're going to do some stuff there. But apart from that, Ant, any final words before we finish?
No, I think we've just about covered everything, but not everything enough to not come over to my channel.
Exactly. We'll be back on Tuesday. Actually, we're doing a preview for the first time in forever. We've got Lewis back on the channel and a couple of other fans as well. So we look forward to that. About 7-8 o'clock. Got to set that one up. Apart from that, head over to Ant's channel after this, and we'll see you all there. Goodbye.